Very well, I'm willing. However, it's not my cousin. I'm going to marry the owner of the sheep stall in the neighboring village. As soon as I finished speaking, my younger sister, Lu Ruyan, burst into laughter. Sister, are you kidding? Although the Zhou family offered a betrothal gift of 60,000 yuan, he is a disabled person and needs others to take care of his daily life, including eating, drinking, using the toilet, etc. My parents remained silent, seemingly seriously considering. I knew they would agree. After all, 60,000 yuan is no small amount. It's enough to buy another inexpensive car for my younger brother Yaozu. As for whether I will become a housewife after getting married, that's no longer their concern. In my previous life, I gave birth to 2 stillborn babies in succession and was confined to the bed, on the verge of death. Through the crack of the door, I pleaded with my parents. Mom and Dad, please save your daughter. After all, she is our daughter. We must give an account. My father's voice suddenly dropped as he counted the money with his hands. Give 1,000 yuan to our precious son, and we'll keep 1,000. My mother couldn't hide her joy. Seeing that there was no more sound outside the door, my heart completely chilled. After being insulted again by my beast, like cousin at night, I untied my belt and hanged myself from the beam. After being reborn, I will no longer hold a glimmer of hope for my relatives. They won't save me from hardships, but will only push me into the abyss. Before my parents could speak, Yaozu couldn't wait to express his opinion. Since our precious son has agreed, of course my parents have no objection. Sister, why do you suddenly want to marry the sheep stall owner? Didn't you say last night that you wanted to run away? Lu Ruyan stared closely at me, seemingly not believing that I would cooperate so readily. Are you planning to play some trick again? With his words, my parents also began to doubt me. Yaozu also glared at me. I warn you, don't cause any more trouble, or I'll send you to our cousin's place right now. Compared to my parents' cold-heartedness, I was chilled by my younger sister's schemes. As an unpopular daughter in the family, I have always tried my best to take care of her. Whether it's food, clothing, or daily necessities, as long as she needs them, I will give them to her. Although I am 2 years older than her, I look thinner and weaker than her in appearance. I am well aware of the importance of learning. Even when doing housework at home, no matter how tired I am, I never slack off in my studies. After the high school entrance examination, I could have smoothly entered the county-level Key Middle School with the second highest score in the whole school. However, it was obvious that my parents were not willing to bear the burden of supporting 2 children's education simultaneously. When Lu Rian showed her full mark report card, I softened my heart. The next day, I tore up the admission notice and went to look for a job in the town. Sister, I will always remember your kindness to me. At that time, Lu Ruyan wiped her tears and hugged me tightly, like a well-behaved rabbit. However, I didn't know that her kindness to me was so special. Dad, why don't we send her there tonight just in case? Lu Ruyan knew that I'm not an easy-to-compromise person. She was in such a hurry, probably hoping that I would be sent to my cousin's house immediately. In this way, she could become the candidate for marriage. Even if I had to sell myself, I should be sold at a better price. I glared at Lu Ruyan. I'm not that despicable. Who are you scolding? Lu Ruyan blushed with anger. Shut up, all of you. You're all so troublesome. My father spoke. Zhao Zhao, tell me the truth. Do you really want to marry Zhou Tanzi? He has been paralyzed for 2 years, and is 10 years older than you. My mother also sat beside me and rarely held my hand. Qingqing, don't blame your parents for being heartless. We are doing this for your own good. If you marry that distant cousin, at least there's a bit of a family connection. Your parents can still help you if there's anything wrong, but as for that sheep stall owner, we have no relationship with him, and he can't take care of you. What they said seemed so sincere. If I hadn't experienced my previous life, I might really have believed it. I have received an education. Even a distant cousin, in my opinion, is considered incestuous, and I find it disgusting. My father's face changed, and his eyes showed some displeasure. Also, I can get an additional 60,000 yuan betrothal gift by marrying the sheep stall owner. This is a sacrifice I made voluntarily. I forced out a sobbing voice. For the sake of this 60,000 yuan, I hope you can take more care of me. If I'm bullied in the future, my natal family can stand up for me. Of course, sister. From now on, you'll be my dearest sister. Yaozu was moved by my acting and completely believed my words. However, with his nature, even if I hadn't acted, he wouldn't have let go of this fat meat of 60,000 yuan. Since I was a child, he has treated me like a servant. Even if I were to marry a dead person, as long as it could bring in money, he wouldn't have any objections. Qingqing, don't worry. Although we've raised you for so many years, it's only natural for you to make some contributions to your younger brother. But we will also remember your filial piety. My father softened his expression and turned to tell my mother. By changing a new dress later. Tomorrow we'll go to Zhou Tanzi's house and finalize the matter. Right. Take the household register and ID card. Let them get the marriage certificate tomorrow. Cash on delivery. Yaozu got excited and pushed my mother into the inner room. My father gave Lu Ruyan a meaningful look, and the two of them went out. With a click, I was locked in the room. I can't believe you've come to terms with it so quickly. How could you possibly take a fancy to a stall keeper? Lu Ruyan appeared silently outside the door. She was never a fool. My parents were easy to deceive, and among them, she was the closest to me and knew my character best. Indeed, originally, I wouldn't have taken a liking to a stall keeper so easily, but no one would know that in 3 days, the Yang family, who owned the sheep stall, would become overnight millionaires. The Yang family's place was rather remote, yet they had a large amount of land, with only the 2 elderly parents left, who were the only labor force, and had to go to the doctor from time to time. They were in a difficult situation. Unexpectedly, due to a temporary government plan, almost all of the Yang family's land was expropriated. A huge windfall, a large sum of demolition compensation fell into their hands. Overjoyed, the Yang's parents bought a lottery ticket on their way back after receiving the compensation. To their astonishment, they won the first prize of 30 million yuan. This event made a sensation in several neighboring villages. In my previous life, when my mother-in-law brought me food, she casually mentioned this piece of news. Oh dear, why didn't such good luck fall on our family? That sheep stall owner, having got the money, is said to have gone to a big city to see a doctor. And surprisingly, he was completely cured. Now those families with young girls are shamelessly trying to get close to him. She gave me a sidelong glance. What's the name of your younger sister? Ruyan has been blocking his door since early morning. Unfortunately, he has already moved to the city to avoid such people. How could he still fancy her? I am grateful to heaven for giving me a chance to be reborn. I will live every minute and every second of this life to the fullest. Marrying the sheep stall owner is the best choice for me to overcome the current predicament. In my previous life, I had never met the sheep stall owner, but I had seen his younger sister, Yang Yuji, at school. Although the clothes she wore were old, they were clean and tidy, unlike mine which were covered in dust. Moreover, despite their family's poverty, they had always insisted on sending their daughter to school. When I dropped out of school, I happened to meet the Yang's parents seeing her off to school. Her father was carrying a luggage bag, and her mother was holding her hand. The warmth of this scene couldn't be fake. Therefore, compared to the bunch of scoundrels in my cousin's family, I have more faith in the character of the Yang family. The Yang's parents seemed honest and not talkative, and they looked quite satisfied with me. The 160,000 yuan betrothal gift had already emptied their family savings, and perhaps they still had some debts. A conscientious family generally wouldn't be willing to let their daughter marry into such a situation to be a nanny and live a widow-like life. So the marriage was settled so quickly, and they seemed very happy. My younger brother took the money and squatted on the ground, counting it separately with my mother. My father shouted at me, "Call your father-in-law and mother-in-law. Have some sense, Mom and Dad." I bowed gently to the Yang's parents. They responded repeatedly, all smiles. Both emotionally and rationally, I should be grateful to them for giving me a better place to stay, even if they don't develop as they did in my previous life. Without getting rich overnight, and without curing the paralysis, I will accept it. I will take good care of the sheep stall owner for the rest of my life. When we got the marriage certificate, it was the first time I saw the sheep stall owner, and I also learned his full name for the first time. Father Yang pedaled a tricycle to bring him. He was lying in the cart covered with a blanket, probably due to long-term lack of exercise. He was rather thin, and his exposed skin was fairer than that of an average farmer. What I didn't expect was that his appearance was much better than I had imagined. Different from the emaciated and sallow-faced look I had expected, the man leaning beside me at the moment was elegant and gentle, with clear and tender eyes. "I'll be in your care from now on. Thank you." When I carried him and moved him onto the bed, a faint blush appeared on his cheeks, and he thanked me in a low voice. "You have no idea how grateful I am to you." I took off my clothes and got into the bed. Clearly I felt his body stiffen. "Turn off the light and go to sleep." "I'm sleepy," he said in a muffled voice. Until dawn, he didn't dare to turn over. Everything was going as it did in my previous life. The surprise came quickly and smoothly. My parents went to another place to discuss my younger brother's marriage, and hadn't received the news yet. My father-in-law and mother-in-law bought lottery tickets. When they came back, one of their shoes even fell off. "Mom and Dad, let's catch the bus to the city now, and then transfer to City A to see a doctor for Yang Ling." I made a prompt decision, wanting to stay ahead of time and avoid trouble. Okay. When it came to seeing a doctor for Yang Ling, my in-laws had no objections. When the bus arrived, a person jumped out of it. My face darkened. "Sister, brother-in-law, where are you going? Take me with you." Lu Ruyan was dressed fashionably, with lipstick on. I urged my in-laws to carry Yang Ling onto the bus. Seeing this, Lu Ruyan wanted to follow. I stopped her. "Aren't you supposed to be helping Yaozu negotiate his marriage in another place? Why are you back?" She gave a fawning smile. "You just got married. Mom and Dad are worried, and asked me to come and see you." I stared at her coldly. "I heard that brother-in-law's family got a demolition compensation. What great news. We're all family. You should take good care of your little sister in the future." It was really something for her to say such words. Not long ago, she had betrayed me and tried every means to make me marry a wretch. Now she was all smiles. Originally, they shouldn't have known about this so quickly. The change occurred because I had married Yang Lin. With this in-law relationship, surely someone with a big mouth had revealed this matter to my parents. Fortunately, regarding the lottery winning, I had reminded my in-laws in advance not to mention it. My father's family were all wolves that ate people without spitting out the bones. It's always better to keep a low profile. Lu Ruyan, do you still need to pretend to be affectionate with me? I warn you, put away your little schemes. I don't have time to act with you. It's urgent to see a doctor for Yang Ling. Her face immediately fell, and she stuck to me. As a younger sister, it's only natural for me to help take care of my brother-in-law. It wasn't time for the bus to depart yet, and there were already quite a few passengers waiting in the bus. Lu Ruyan was lying on the bus door, showing a determined look that she wouldn't give up until I agreed. I really hadn't noticed before how thick-skinned she was. Some passengers nearby leaned over, looking at us with great interest. Brother-in-law. Lu Ruyan became even more excited and squeezed in front of me to talk to Yang Lin. You're going to a big city to see a doctor. You're unfamiliar with the place. You need more people to take care of you. I've read more books than my sister and know more. It'll be more convenient to take me with you. After Yang Lin got sick, he seldom talked to outsiders and became much more introverted. Now suddenly, there was a charming young girl talking to him so affectionately. His face turned red quickly. Lu Ruyan was even more proud and regardless of the passengers' gazes drawled, Brother-in-law, can you take me with you? I turned to look at Yang Lin. He stammered for a long time. Well, it's better to listen to your sister. Lu Ruyan was stunned, her eyebrows furrowing. Brother-in-law, you're a man, the head of the family. How could? I raised my voice and interrupted her. An unmarried young girl pestering to take care of her brother-in-law. Aren't you ashamed to say that? In this family there's my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, and me, his wife. If nothing else, there's also his own biological sister. Is it your turn to take care of him? People who know will say you're kind-hearted. People who don't know will think you're crazy for a man and pestering your own brother-in-law. I sneered at her one sentence after another, spitting all over her face. There were a few laughs from the bus. Some people who couldn't stand it started to speak up. Hey little girl, what your sister said makes perfect sense. How can you be so eager to take care of your brother-in-law? At your age, don't learn those shameless tricks. If you're crazy for a man, just tell me, auntie. There are 4 or 5 bachelors at the entrance of my village. You can choose as you like. If that doesn't work, you can take them all. That would be a good deed. Although I was not well treated at home, because of my protection, Lu Ruyan hadn't been scolded much. Moreover, since she entered junior high school, she only went home once a week and basically stayed at school the rest of the time. So she didn't have many opportunities to hear such vulgar words. Now being scolded face to face, she was already red with anger. She was panting heavily, staring at me hatefully. You want to be a young mistress? Dream on. When mom, dad, and your younger brother come back, you'll be in trouble. Lu Ruyan whispered, then let go of her hand. So what if you have money? He's still just a stall keeper. You'll be serving him by fetching his excrement and urine for the rest of your life. Before getting off the bus, she said another stupid thing. It seemed she was really frustrated. After I got married, she was the only daughter left in the family to be exploited. With my parents' character, they must be thinking of some crooked ideas about her. During this period, she must have been quite anxious. Get on the bus if you want or get off. Don't block the door. Otherwise I'll call the security. The driver uncle looked at the time and lost his patience. Without the support of my parents and Yaozu, Lu Ruyan knew she couldn't argue with me. Eventually she slunk away. I went back to Yang Lin's side. He moved aside with difficulty. Am I that fat? I found it both funny and annoying. He waved his hand. No. It's just that I'm afraid you'll be crowded. After a long silence he spoke again. Was I a bit too weak just now? If I were healthy, I should have stepped in front of you to protect you. Yang Lin looked at me nervously. I shook my head. It's good enough that you spoke up for me. Believe me, the hospital will definitely cure you. He pulled the corner of his mouth indifferently, thinking I was just trying to comfort him. When we arrived in City A, my in-laws were a bit intimidated by the bustling city. After struggling to make a living in the countryside for half a lifetime, they instinctively felt timid. Little did they know that the prosperous world in front of them also owed a great deal to the efforts of thousands upon thousands of farmers. With money there was confidence. Our family has money now. It's time to enjoy ourselves. I was surprised that my in-laws, who had just welcomed me into the family, trusted me so much that they handed me the bank card. Ching, your father's mind isn't as sharp as you young people's. You take charge. Father Yang wiped the sweat from his forehead and looked around at the towering buildings. Goodness, if the gods live up there and look down, they'd be scared to death. After finding a place to stay, we immediately went to the most authoritative hospital in the city. The treatment was expected to last for about 2 or 3 months. During this period, we never went back. Chun, an aunt in the village, told me, your parents almost come to Zhou Yang's door every day. They're so anxious that they're asking around everywhere where you've gone, and whether you'll come back. Once, your younger brother even climbed over the wall into your house, and sprained his ankle. Haha. Later, the village had led some people over, and almost got into a fight with them. Only then did your parents calm down a bit. During the treatment period, we had already bought 2 houses in full. One was in my in-law's name, and the other was in Yang Lin's and my name. Originally, I meant to write only Yang Lin's name. I hadn't contributed anything, and I was already very grateful to have escaped from the hell of my previous life. But they scolded me and insisted on adding my name. We're all family. There will be many things that need your help in the future. I held back the emotion in my eyes, and my heart, which was full of hatred and coldness, warmed a little. As expected, soon Yang Lin miraculously regained the ability to walk and move, although he still couldn't do strenuous exercise. Dad Chaoyang. Yang Lin choked with sobs. Years of bitterness and grievances turned into tears. I called his younger sister, Yang Yuji, and told her the current address. Yang Yuji was about to graduate from university. Now that the family wasn't short of money, it was time to buy her a house too. When the door was knocked, Yang Lin happily went to open it. Unexpectedly, several unexpected guests came. Why are you here? Beside Yang Yuji, I saw my parents Lu Ruyan and Yaozu. Yaozu had deliberately dressed up. His hair was slicked back with hair oil, and he was wearing a suit that he must have found somewhere. It was so tight that it made him look as Toyan as a rat. Brother, I didn't know. They've been following me, Yang Yuji said with a red face, then looked at me. Sister-in-law. Yang Yuji and I were of the same age. I am a few months older than her. That's none of your business. Put down your school bag. I've prepared the bath water for you. Go take a shower first and then have a rest. I helped her put down the school bag and led her into the bathroom. Here's a new nightgown. After taking a bath, Yang Yuji's tense expression eased, and two shallow dimples appeared when she smiled. Thank you, sister-in-law. Back in the living room, my father and mother were already sitting casually on the sofa. Yaozu took out a cigarette and skillfully put it in his mouth. A pungent smell of smoke filled the living room. Yang Lin coughed twice. I walked over and pinched out the cigarette in Yaozu's mouth. Are you asking for a beating? Yaozu habitually raised his fist. My father quickly coughed twice. Yaozu, that's your own sister. There's no reason for family members to fight. Your sister is an elder. Even if an elder is wrong, you have to endure it. My father spoke in a sarcastic tone. Then he continued. Yes, we're all family. Sister, why didn't you even tell us your new address? We've been so worried about you since we haven't been in touch for so long. My mother turned her head to look around the house, her eyes filled with greed. This house is so beautiful and spacious. It must be about 200 square meters, right? Yaozu stood up and counted the bedrooms. 5 bedrooms, right? You give one to my brother-in-law, one to Uncle Yang and Auntie. I'm a man. I'll take the bigger one among the remaining 3. He stood with his hands on his hips, choosing as if he were already the master of the place. I'm not picky. Just give me any of the remaining rooms. Lu Rian also jumped in. I was so angry that I laughed. If being thick-skinned could apply for the Guinness World Record, the 3 of them could tie for first place. Oh, Yang Lin is really lucky to marry our Qingqing. As soon as Qingqing got married, there was a demolition, and his illness was cured too. So the fate of these 2 families is really predestined by heaven. My mother noticed my displeased expression, and quickly came out to smooth things over. My in-laws were honest people. Although they were not happy about this situation, they didn't know what to say. If there's nothing else, you'd better go back early. We still need to take Yang Lin for a review. I simply issued an order to send them away. This time, I really set them off. Lu Ruqing, what do you mean? You've grown wings since you got married, right? I'm not leaving today. He slumped on the sofa, looking like a complete scoundrel. Brother-in-law, you're a man. When did it become a woman's turn to be in charge at home? A selfish and heartless person like my sister. You must teach her a good lesson. If a woman isn't beaten, she'll climb onto the roof and remove the tiles. Lu Rian's eyes were rolling around, and she also came up to Yang Lin. Brother-in-law, my sister is used to being bossy at home. Don't be angry. Yang Lin took a step back towards me. I don't think Rian is overthinking. She's just being too much. I gave my mother a meaningful look. My mother sat down on the ground and started wailing. What a sin. I've raised a white-eyed wolf with so much hard work. If I had known she was so unfilial, I should have strangled her when she was born. Now that I'm not even dead yet, she's already driving me away. Who wouldn't point fingers at her behind her back? My mother-in-law was so frightened that she wanted to go and help her up. I stopped her. Who cares about the so-called good reputation of being filial? How many girls' pitiful lives have been tied to these 2 words, filial piety? Girls are supposed to sacrifice and be filial because sooner or later, they'll be outsiders. Boys, on the other hand, are the precious darlings, the little emperors, even though they're born from the same mother. If you don't treat your daughter as a family member, don't hypocritically use family affection to kidnap her. I took a deep breath and was about to speak when Yang Lin took my hand. In a daze, he walked to the door and opened it. Get out. The 3 of them were stunned. Yang Lin's voice was low, and his eyebrows were filled with disgust. At this moment, I suddenly realized that he wasn't as timid as I had imagined. His previous silence and reticence might have been due to his illness, which had suppressed his confidence and courage. The real him wasn't weak and could not be bullied. Brother-in-law, Lu Ruyan still wanted to be friendly. Yaozu stuck out his neck. I'm not leaving. What are you going to do about it? Yang Lin took out his phone. If you don't leave, I'll call the police right away and say that someone has broken into my house. It's a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. My father realized the situation was wrong and came out to mediate. He whispered something to Yaozu. Yaozu's eyes flickered, and he rarely came over to apologize in a nice tone. I was impulsive. Brother-in-law, sister, your younger brother is here to apologize. It was so easy to send these pests away that I felt a bit unaccustomed. Gently sending away your parents like this, won't the villagers talk about you? My mother-in-law looked at me worriedly. Greedy people can never be satisfied. I know them well. We must never give them a chance. My father-in-law asked Yang Yuji in a low voice. What does your sister-in-law mean by that chicken? Yang Yuji burst out laughing. The originally heavy atmosphere was broken. Before going to bed at night, Yang Lin handed me his phone. I took it, and found a text message from Lu Ruyan. Brother-in-law, maybe you had some misunderstandings about me before, but I believe that over time, you'll know my true feelings. Good night. After reading it, I returned the phone to him. Do you want to change your wife? I don't know when I started to feel relaxed and bold in front of Yang Lin, and I also liked to tease him. Seeing him get anxious and blush. A 1.83-meter tall 30-year-old man could be quite cute sometimes. Of course not. I only want you as my wife. As soon as he said this, I blushed. I don't want to hide anything from you. He looked at me sincerely. Got it. You reply as you see fit. I said perfunctorily, but my heart was filled with sweetness. Yang Lin thought for a while and typed one word. Scram. I got up and turned off the light. Yang Lin and I had a wonderful night. A week later, Yang Lin completely recovered his health. Yang Yuji also successfully bought her first house in her life. Thank you, brother and sister-in-law. She hugged me excitedly. Thank me for what? This is originally the Yang family's money. In the future, you and your brother will each get half. No. One house is enough for me. She waved her hand, and her clear eyes couldn't hide her excitement. I raised my eyebrows. You don't want half? What does that mean? You won't take care of the family in the future. My mother-in-law also had a happy expression, looking at her daughter lovingly. Your sister-in-law is right. Your brother was born by me, aren't you? Before, your parents were poor and couldn't give you a good life. In the future, you can do whatever you want bravely. After Yang Lin got his driver's license, we quickly bought a car. Because there were still some things to take care of in our hometown, we chose a day to drive back to the village. As soon as we got home, those people came sniffing around. If you need to take care of anything, just let Yaozu give you a hand. I won't say anything else. My Yaozu has been praised since he was a child. He's filial capable and smart. If it weren't for letting his two sisters go to school, he would have been admitted to university long ago. After hearing this, I almost vomited up my dinner last night. Yaozu's chubby face was covered with a layer of oil, and he was grinning from ear to ear. He was chased around the village since he was a child for stealing chickens, playing hooliganism, and doing all kinds of immoral things. Time really flies. In a blink of an eye, Yaozu has reached the age of getting married this year. My father said unhurriedly. An alarm went off in my mind. Didn't you go to arrange a marriage for him last time? I calmly stood in front of Yang Yuji. My mother snorted. How can such a family be worthy of us now? My own daughter has become prosperous, and we can also benefit from it. As the saying goes, good fei soy never flows to Irene's field. The first time I saw Yuji, I liked her very much. She finally revealed her true intention. Yaozu scratched his head. I like her too. You're such an idiot. My in-laws were so angry that they couldn't speak. Yang Yuji was so scared that she hid behind me, avoiding Yaozu's lecherous gaze. I forcefully threw the teacup in my hand. Are you blind? Can't you see the sun? Are you still asleep? If you don't have a mirror, there's always urine. If you don't have urine, turn left outside, and find a public toilet to borrow someone else's urine, to take a look at your own appearance. You got someone else's daughter pregnant, and now you don't want her anymore. You come here with a shameless face, and say you like her. Even if a toad becomes a fairy, it's not as delusional as you. You'd better give up this idea. If you dare to have thoughts about Yuji, our whole family won't let you off. I scolded them vividly, and the villagers watching the excitement at the door also burst into laughter. There were also several young girls who kept looking at Yang Lin standing beside me. Yang Lin's legs are completely healed. He's so handsome. He's just like the male lead in the Korean drama I watched a few days ago. If I had known, I would have asked my mother to agree to marry me here. You don't understand. This is called good fortune. Lu Ruqin has good fortune. You can't envy it. Yang Lin's gloomy face just now instantly froze, and he coughed uncomfortably. Yaozu flew into a rage, and waved his fist to come and beat me. This time, my father didn't stop him either. An ungrateful white-eyed wolf. You damned girl. Just as Yaozu's fist was about to hit my face, two bodyguards rushed out from behind me. Yaozu was kicked away, and couldn't get up for a long time. Oh my son. My mother rushed over, and hugged Yaozu in her arms, as if she had been cut by a knife. Come on again. Anyway, this is self-defense. You two can come together if you want. If I beat you disabled, I have the money to compensate. I slowly returned to my chair, my tone icy. Ching, your parents are actually doing this for your own good. Your brother and Yuji being together is a good thing, making the family closer. A big family with a lot of property will be eyed by others. If she marries someone else, who knows if all the money will be taken away by outsiders. Lu Ruyan also pretended to be well-behaved and tried to persuade my in-laws. Uncle Yang, Auntie Yang. I've seen many girls in school who were lured away by a few sweet words from outsiders. Yuji is so beautiful and rich. Finding someone we don't know is very dangerous. Didn't you see the news a while ago? There were several cases of husbands or boyfriends killing their wives or girlfriends. It's really scary. Although my in-laws were still a bit scared, they were not stupid. Thank you for reminding us, but Yuji's marriage should be decided by herself. We only listened to her wishes. My father looked at Yaozu, who was crying out in pain, and vented all his anger on Lu Ruyan. He swung his arm and slapped her hard. Useless thing. You don't need to go to school tomorrow. Lu Ruyan covered her face and cried. But in my heart, there was no longer the pity I once had. After driving them away, I realized that I was sweating all over. I'm sorry for having such a family. Having such a family isn't your fault. Yang Lin took over my words. Yang Yuji also came to comfort me. Sister-in-law, I should thank you. You scolded them so well. But my heart was still heavy, always feeling a bit uneasy. Fortunately, I had hired 2 bodyguards in advance. My parents are typical bullies who fear the strong and pick on the weak. When I was bullied by other boys at school when I was a child, and was beaten until my nose bled, just because his father was the town mayor, my parents forced me to apologize to that boy instead. A Ping the village idiot picked up 50 yuan on the road. My father, who happened to pass by, insisted that it was his. He not only snatched it back, but also kicked the other person. During this period, we all need to be more careful. Yang Lin and I looked at each other and told everyone. On the 3rd day, a girl with a big belly came to the Yang family. The girl had colorful hair and was chewing gum. Are you Yaozu's sister? I nodded and gave her a chair. What's the matter? She spat out the chewing gum and looked me up and down. I'm here to ask for money. That bastard Yaozu said he doesn't want me anymore. He has to be responsible for the child in my belly. My family told him that if he wants to dump me, he has to give 60,000 yuan. Otherwise, I'll accuse him of rape. Yaozu called me yesterday and asked me to come to you for the money. He said you're extremely rich. I thought that girl he was arranging a marriage with wouldn't let him go so easily. It turned out he had promised her a large sum of money. I'll pay for him. You're daydreaming. You sit here first. The police will be here soon. The girl's eyes widened as if she had seen a ghost. What are the police coming for? Didn't you want to accuse Yaozu of rape? I called the police for you. She was stunned, and an incredulous expression appeared on her face. I have nothing to do with the Lu family anymore. I won't pay for the Lu family's troubles. Well, there's an exception. When my parents die, I can pay a little for the funeral expenses. He was thrown into a panic and took out his phone to call Yaozu, but no one answered. I advise you to have an abortion as soon as possible. Don't hold out hope for that scoundrel. You can go to his house now and call the police directly to force him to pay for the medical expenses. I set the chair he had knocked over back in place, stood up, and prepared to see the guest out. Today, Yang Yuji had gone to the city to pick up something from school. She was expected to be back in the evening. I had prepared her favorite spare ribs and was going to stew them for her later. I passed by that place on my way here. That scumbag isn't at home today. If I catch him, I'll definitely beat him to death. Yaozu wasn't at home. My heart was pounding, and I subconsciously called Yang Yuji. Similarly, no one answered. Yang Lin and Mayan Laws had all gone to the hospital to pick up the last batch of medicine. Only I was left at home. Without time to think, I pushed the girl aside, got on my bicycle, and hit the road. Along the way Yang Yuji usually took to come back, I pedaled as fast as I could. When passing through a secluded section, I vaguely heard a familiar voice. Help! Stop it! What are you pretending for? I've long known you're interested in me. Otherwise, why would you dress so beautifully? You'll get a lot of benefits by being with me. Stop shouting, or I'll beat you to death. Hearing this, my anger flared up. That despicable Yaozu was indeed up to no good. I casually picked up a stone and smashed it hard at his fat back. Ouch! Yaozu jumped away as if electrocuted. When he turned around, Yang Yuji under him was trembling. Her top was torn, revealing her underwear inside. Seeing this scene, my hand holding the stone couldn't stop shaking. As if I had seen the tragic situation of myself being at the mercy of my stupid cousin in my previous life. You dare to spoil my plans. Taking advantage of his unpreparedness, I aimed and smashed the stone at his head. Blood immediately trickled down his face. He staggered and fell to the ground, wailing while holding his head. I walked over, kicked him over and stepped on his face. Sister, spare me. I'm the only hope of the Lu family's lineage. Such a low-quality lineage. Beating him to death would be doing a good deed. Seeing that I wasn't joking, Yaozu suddenly turned as pale as earth. It was that dead girl Lu Ruyan who gave me this idea. I hinted for him to continue speaking while still not stopping with my foot. Yang Yuji got up. I took a close look at her. Fortunately, other parts of her body were still intact. If I had arrived 10 minutes later, I didn't dare to think further. Lu Ruyan couldn't handle Yang Lin. She couldn't stand seeing you living a good life without her share, so she gave me this idea. She said that a woman's chastity is the most precious. As long as I successfully sleep with Yang Yuji, the Yang family will marry her to me for the sake of their reputation. Then we can have as much money as we want. It was Lu Ruyan's evil idea. Yaozu, with his pig-like brain, besides being able to act tough and shameless, could only listen to others' ideas. At this moment, the last bit of sisterly affection I had for Lu Ruyan vanished. She also said that when the matter gets big, I should say it was you who told me to do it. In this way, she can understand your relationship with your brother-in-law and take your place. Having witnessed my ferocity several times, Yaozu no longer dared to be as arrogant as before. He spilled everything like beans. I looked at him sideways. Have you heard of justifiable defense? You intended to violently rape first. We were justifiably resisting. Even if we beat you to death. I deliberately paused. Yaozu swallowed hard. We don't need to bear any legal responsibility. You'd just be dead. After saying that, I beckoned to Yang Yuji and softened my voice. Yuji, come here. Yang Yuji looked up when she heard my voice and looked at me inquiringly. Don't be afraid. Bad people like him deserve what they get. It's the ones who do bad things who should be afraid. She took a deep breath, and a touch of determination flashed in her eyes. Yaozu was shaking like a sieve. He struggled to get up, but was unable to resist due to his previous and current injuries. Yuji, my dear girl, spare me. I'm not human. I'm a beast. I apologize to you. I'll kowtow to you. He was crying with snot and tears, looking like a clown. Young Yuji walked up to him, examined him for a while, and then sneered. After that, she gathered her strength and kicked him hard. I thought you were so powerful. A bully who picks on the weak. Letting you die would be too good for you. Just because you have that thing between your legs. You're so arrogant. Your head is full of such filthy thoughts. Why don't you just tear it off and use it as an antenna on your desk? Were your parents dropped in a cesspit before giving birth to you? How could they give birth to such a stinking thing like you? If you dare to mess with me again, I'll chop you into pieces with a kitchen knife, and then stuff you into your parents' mouths. Young Yuji wiped away her tears, panting. Sister-in-law, call the police. I want to send this scumbag to prison, and let him enjoy it properly. For a moment, I was also stunned by Young Yuji's domineering. I gave her a thumbs up. She sniffled shyly. Sister-in-law, actually, I just followed your momentum. Am I that fierce? The police arrived quickly, and took us to make a statement. On the way to the police station, I saw Young Lin driving by. Surprisingly, Lu Ruyan was sitting in the back seat. I was furious and stopped the car. Young Lin quickly got out of the car to explain. Lu Ruyan said her foot was sprained, and she was afraid that as a young girl, she would be in danger walking on the road. So she knew that a young girl could be in danger, yet she masterminded pushing Young Yuji into a dangerous situation. She herself was a woman. How could she do such a despicable thing? I opened the car door, grabbed Lu Ruyan's hair, and pulled her out. Ah, what are you doing? It hurts. Let go. Lu Ruyan screamed, her face contorted in pain. Since childhood, I had done the most work at home, and thus I had the greatest strength. I grabbed her hair with my left hand, and slapped her hard with my right hand. You heartless wretch. You even gave Yaozu the idea to ruin Yuji's innocence. Young Lin was shocked, and a fierce look appeared between his eyebrows. The ones who harmed you were your parents. You're always plotting to harm others. Did your brain get run over by a tractor? If you give a homeless dog on the roadside a steamed bun, it knows how to wag its tail in gratitude. You're much more despicable than a dog. I doted on you so much since childhood, but you plotted against me time and time again. When you suffered, you wanted to harm others. When you got benefits, you still wanted to harm others. If Yuji had really been plotted against by you today, I would have made your life a living hell. Lu Ruyan's cheek was swollen high from my slaps. She cried out, begging me. Let me go. I dare not do it again. Sister, please. I didn't let go. She got anxious. Why? You're so lucky. You were supposed to marry our cousin and suffer. Why can you enjoy a good life now? What's so good about you? You're fierce and uneducated. In which aspect am I not better than you? You and that stupid cousin are the most well-matched. It should be me who lives a good life. It should be me. Lu Ruyan shouted like a madwoman, blurting out her true feelings. I, who had never shed a tear in this life, couldn't help but burst into tears. In my previous life, when I was forced to marry my cousin, the chain around my wrist rotted, and the pain was excruciating. I was only wearing a dress, not even panties, lying on the bed, just to make it convenient for my cousin to do evil to me. I wasn't a woman, not a human being, but just an object. On the visible and invisible parts of my body, there were dots of marks left by that pervert. Even my cousin's male relatives could take the opportunity to take advantage of me. When I was giving birth to my second child, I was wailing and struggling on that broken bed. The grass edge padded under my buttocks was a favor to me. When the blood and tears flowed together, why didn't she envy my good fortune then? Did she ever secretly come to see me even once? She, who was so educated, betrayed me when I wanted to take her with me to escape. Lu Ruyan, she has no heart. Such a person only knows how to hate. All my kindness to her in the past was wasted. Envy my good fortune, right? Then transfer my original fate to you. I dragged her and drove straight to the Lu family's house. What's going on? My father and mother were standing at the door, completely confused. Your daughter Lu Ruyan has done a great job. Lu Ruyan stuck out her neck, still looking unrepentant. I approached her and whispered softly, Yaozu has been taken away by the police. If they know that you caused Yaozu to go to prison, what do you think they'll do to you? She immediately went limp and looked at me in horror. Sister, please save me. Sister, please forgive me. I'm your only sister. My father was already impatient. What on earth is going on? Stop dawdling. Where's Yaozu? Did Yaozu go to find you? Yang Lin walked up to my parents, exuding a cold aura. After explaining the whole story clearly, my parents' faces turned as white as paper. My mother rushed up and pounced on him, crying like she was at a funeral. Get my son out. I'll beat you to death, you heartless thing. In the last few days, although my parents tried to bribe people everywhere to get things sorted out, because Yuji and I refused to cooperate, Yaozu was still sentenced. When she heard that he was going to be imprisoned for 3 years, my mother fainted on the spot. What a deep motherly love. Yaozu was crying his heart out in court, constantly begging my parents to get him out quickly. Of course, he couldn't get out so soon. Yang Lin and I had already paid someone to take care of things, ensuring that he would enjoy himself in prison. It would be best if he couldn't harm other girls anymore after coming out. My parents visited him in prison several times later. Every time, Yaozu cried that he didn't have enough money. One day, Yuji, who had just returned from an exam outside, told me, Lu Ruyan and your father had a fight. There were a lot of people watching. I saw Lu Ruyan holding a knife, saying something like she just wouldn't marry. Yaozu is suffering a lot in prison. They want to use money to ease the situation. People like your parents, when they're short of money, will first set their sights on their daughters. They can't afford to provoke me, the firecracker. So only Lu Ruyan, the chief culprit, is left. Like attracts like. When I rushed over, the drama was almost over. My father was lying straight on the ground, foaming at the mouth. He, who had been overbearing all his life, was struck down by a stroke. Lu Ruyan had her hands tied by the people from my cousin's family, and was stuffed into a car. Go and enjoy your good fortune. My mother saw me. Jingqing, you're here just in time. Your father has had a stroke. After all, we gave birth to you and raised you. You have to pay for his care. I nodded. Yes. A bit of joy appeared on her face. Legally, I do have the obligation to support him. Well, you can sue me. I'll pay whatever I should. I'm not short of that money. Consider it your funeral expenses. Don't even think about me taking care of him, by the bedside. Not in this lifetime. I stood upright. No longer the little girl who used to be beaten and scolded at will. That woman who, when she heard my cries for help outside the window, still counted the money happily and left, didn't deserve to be called a mother. According to Aunt Chun, after my father had a stroke, several creditors came to the house to ask for money. They all said it was the gambling debts Yaozu owed before. In addition, the family whose daughter Yaozu had made pregnant brought a group of people to make trouble. My mother took out all the betrothal gifts from my cousin's family, but it still wasn't enough. Helplessly, she was forced by one of the creditors to work to pay off the debt. She had to sit for 12 hours a day. When it was time to get paid each month, the creditor would come to collect the money on time. Those creditors were very fierce. Your mother was almost scared to death. She was indeed extremely frightened. My phone was almost blown up. Soon, I canceled that number and got a new one. Yonglin and I locked the house in our hometown and completely moved. This time, we sold the house in the city we had before, and bought a high-end community with better security measures. Before leaving, I quietly went to my distant cousin's house from my previous life. When passing by the back window, I heard Lu Ruyan's screams. You damned bitch. Ooh, why do I have to live like this? It should be you who married here. I curse you to die a bad death. I curse all of you to die a bad death. She was much more energetic than I was at that time. Goodbye, Lu Ruyan. There are more girls worthy of my love than you. The days were fulfilling and warm. Yonglin and I picked up our books again, and prepared to take self-study exams to fulfill our dream of studying. Reading more is always good. The knowledge learned and the principles obtained, even if they seem useless for now, may show their value in a certain stage of life in the future. Yuji was determined to go to a nearby mountainous area to teach with a female principal. We all supported her. After everyone's unanimous consent, we also took out a sum of money to focus on supporting poor female students. What should we name the relief fund? Sister-in-law, you name it. I smiled gently. I don't know much about it. Eventually, I couldn't refuse. To all the girls who are trapped, please will be believe in your own strength. Summon up the courage, hold on tightly, emerge from the mud, walk to the brightly lit place and be reborn. The end.